there. Today I want to talk about alignment in downward facing dog. Oh, dog, look who wants to say hello. Sprinkles, hello. Great, so you can follow along or you can just do whatever you want to do. Watch, play it now, play it again later. Great, so when you come to your mat, you place your hands down. You want your hands to be shoulders distance apart. Not wider than your shoulders and not more narrow. Essentially, you want this area, kind of the crook of your armpit, to be right in line. The crook of your armpit to be right in line with the crook of your thumb on both hands. And then you're gonna have your hands with your fingers spread really wide apart, middle fingers pointing straight forward. All of these are suggestions. These are all alignment tips that you can use. But if there's something in your practice, say for example, you know that you need to externally rotate your arms a little bit or internally rotate because you know your body, then by all means do that, because what works best for you is what works best. So generally speaking, all of this is in general. You're gonna have your hands shoulders distance apart. And then you can start out in tabletop to kind of figure out the alignment or the distance between your legs or between your feet and your wrists. So start out with your shoulders right over your wrists. Again, you're pressing down really strongly through all 10 fingertips. The hand is fully engaged. You're not rolling to the outside of the wrist, nor are you pressing to the inside. You want to almost lift up on the palm so that you've got almost as if you could slip a piece of paper in there, just so that you're really equally distributing the weight throughout your entire palm, all the way out to your fingertips. And this is true for all of the balancing poses where your hands are balanced on the ground as well. Tabletop position with your hips directly over your knees. So again, your knees aren't wider than your hips, more narrow. They're just exactly under your hips. Tuck the toes under and then press the hips up and back. And that's about the distance that you want for your downward facing dog. So you can see that can you see your sprinkles in the way? Hey, there you go. Look. So what you can see is that my heels are touching the ground, but that's just because I've been practicing for a long time and I've got particularly open calves and hamstrings. If the heels aren't touching the ground, that's okay. It's not necessarily even a goal or anything, but you do want to just over time allow the heels to slowly reach down towards the ground. Press back through the knees. You're going to roll your thighs in, roll your legs in. So you've got an inward rotation to the legs and then an external rotation to the arms. So with the legs, you kind of take your heels out a little bit wider than your toes. Ideally, you can't see your heels. They're hiding behind your ankles. So that way they're not out too far, nor are they you're not pigeon-toed, nor kind of duck-footed. Your heels are just behind your ankles. And then the thigh bones are rolling in. Your knees are almost like they want to say hello to each other, just gently. And then the arms are externally rotating. So you're pressing down through all 10 fingertips. And then it's like the eye of the elbow, the inside of the elbow is trying to shine forward so that the shoulder blades spread behind you and the armpits wrap around under. A lot of tendency here to either tuck the tailbone under so that you can get the hips down, get the heels down. Actually, what you want to do is you want to lift the sit bones to the sky. One thing you can do for that is to bend the knees and then really stick the behind up towards the sky, or lift the sit bones. Keep that orientation in the low back. See how my low back is nice and flat now? And then you're going to extend through the heels. And maybe that's a centimeter, maybe it's several inches, maybe it's to the ground, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is to keep that orientation so that the pelvis is tilting forward, not tucking under, that you have a really nice flat back. And then the other tendency that we see a lot is to kind of dump into the shoulders. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that while the sit bones are lifted, the low ribs are tucking in. So you're not arching through the upper back, You've got your chin tucked, looking to the navel. The hips are lifted, sit bones pressing to the sky, and then the low ribs are drawing into the torso. Pull the low belly in, lift your pelvic floor. Good. Feel free to spend a few breaths there. You can always repeat this as many times as you want. I hope that was really helpful and that you enjoyed it. Have a beautiful day.